controversy surrounding Johnny Dang has exploded online, and for good reason. Allegations have surfaced that he scammed multiple top rappers out of millions, leaving his reputation in tatters. In response, several of these big-name artists stormed his Houston jewelry store, smashing everything in sight with baseball bats. It was total chaos, a full-blown massacre. And today, we're bringing you exclusive footage, the raw reactions, and the full story behind the scam that may very well mark the end of Johnny Dang. Johnny Dang, born Giang Antoine in 1973, is a Vietnamese-American jeweler based in Houston, Texas, known for his custom grills and involvement in the American hip-hop scene. He is the founder of Johnny Dang & Co. His grandfather and father both worked in the jewelry trade. Jewelry was not a hobby for the Dang family. It was the family business going back generations. In 1987, Dang's father left Vietnam and immigrated to the United States. In 1996, Dang and his family followed his father to Houston. He was 23 years old. When he arrived in the States, Johnny Dang had next to nothing. At the time, Johnny was in his early 20s and soon found a job, repairing jewelry at a local flea market in Houston, where he earned about $100 a month. $100 a month. That is the starting point of the man who would later be called the King of Bling. Although Johnny had already learned how jewelry was made while in Vietnam, so as to help his father with the family business, he experienced a major culture shock upon coming to the US due to the country's different styles and technologies. He was used to handcrafting jewelry by hand, the way it had been done in Vietnam for generations. In America, the game was different. Most fine jewelry in Vietnam is handcrafted, with jewelers setting stones manually. However, jewelry production in the US is a software-driven and automated process. Adapting to his new environment, Johnny taught himself how to use the necessary tools. Dang opened his first store, TV Jewelry, in the Sharpstown Mall in 1998. He found a niche in making jeweled grills for clients. Grills, those gold or diamond-studded mouthpieces that rappers wear on their teeth, were not new. Eddie Plain of Eddie Plain's Gold Teeth kickstarted the trend in New York during the 1980s, which then trickled over to Atlanta, Georgia, and other states. But what Johnny Dang did was take the grill concept and upgrade it. Johnny's use of different colored diamonds, one-of-a-kind embellishments, and other previously unseen additions set his jewelry apart from the rest. Now here is where the story takes a turn that would change his life. After making a grill for rapper Paul Wall, the two went into business together in 2002. Paul Wall was a Houston rapper with a name in the southern rap scene. He was plugged in, he knew people, and when Paul Wall started wearing Johnny Dang's grills, other rappers noticed. Thanks to word of mouth and a roster of high-profile clients whom he met through Paul, Johnny was soon deluged with work. In a later interview with NBC News, Johnny said, "I never knew about hip-hop until I went to Houston. All I knew was there was a big opportunity here." And that opportunity turned into an empire. Dang has been referenced in musical recordings by Migos, Travis Scott, Gucci Mane, Lil Pump, Keith Ape, and Chief Keef, 21 Savage, among others. He has additionally appeared in music videos for songs such as Gucci Bandana by Soulja Boy, Gucci Mane, and Shawty Lo, Grills by Nelly, Wild Boy by Machine Gun Kelly, No Angel by Beyonce, We Taken Over by DJ Khaled, and Ice Tray by Quavo and Lil Yachty. This is not a man who was on the sidelines of hip-hop. He was in the music videos. He was in the songs. His name was being dropped in verses like he was a rapper himself. Shaquille O'Neal, Rick Ross, Travis Scott, and Post Malone are regular clients. Floyd Mayweather had Johnny make him one of the most over-the-top pieces. In the history of hip-hop jewelry, Johnny crafted heavyweight jewelry for Floyd Mayweather. One of the biggest diamond necklace, 3.5 kilos. That is about 7.5 pounds of diamonds, hanging around one man's neck. When it comes to hip-hop jewelers, he's considered amongst the best, and has even landed a coveted spot in the Guinness World Records, thanks to his custom-made 24K golden egg weighing 5 kilograms. Johnny Dang's net worth is estimated to range from $10 million to $25 million as of 2025, accumulated primarily through his jewelry business and related endorsements. But the thing about standing on top is that the view only stays clean for so long, because along with the fame, the A-list clients, and the millions, came something else: allegations. The first cracks in the Johnny Dang image came not from rappers, not from rivals, but from inside his own shop. A former worker came forward saying that Johnny Dang gives rappers fake diamonds. That claim, which surfaced in 2021, spread across forums and social media. A person who said they had worked at Johnny Dang & Co. alleged that some of the stones being set into those high-dollar chains, watches, and grills were not what they were sold as. Now, to understand why this matters, you have to understand the world of hip-hop jewelry. When a rapper walks into Johnny Dang's store and drops $100,000, $200,000, or $500,000 on a chain, they are paying for a specific grade of diamond. VVS, that stands for very, very slightly included, is the standard that rappers talk about in their music. It means the diamond is close to flawless. If you pay VVS prices and get something lower, say SI or I-grade diamonds, you have been overcharged by tens of thousands of dollars, possibly hundreds of thousands. The former employee's claim was that this is exactly what was happening, that customers, including rappers, were being sold lower quality stones at premium prices, clouds in the diamonds, inclusions that should not be there at that price point. On forums like Nike Talk, users had been saying for years that Johnny Dang makes low-quality jewels with cloudy diamonds and is famous for doing grills for celebs. One user stated, "It's okay if you're trying to cop a grill with some cuts and whatnot, but if you're looking for jewelry for anything other than your mouth, I'd go somewhere else." These were not new complaints. They had been floating around for over a decade. But when a former employee put their name behind the claims, it was different. It was no longer speculation from people on the internet. It was someone who said they saw it with their own eyes. On social media, many argued that this is common in the jewelry industry, that jewelers swap stones, inflate prices, and bank on the fact that most customers, even wealthy ones, do not have the tools or knowledge to verify diamond quality. Others pointed out that Johnny Dang's business is not accredited by the Better Business Bureau. The BBB listing for Johnny Dang & Co. states plainly, "This business is not BBB accredited." Customer reviews on the BBB site paint a picture of communication problems. "I ordered a ring and initially I wanted to upgrade the diamonds. The person stopped responding, so I ordered as described. The day came where it was to be shipped and I received nothing as far as tracking or confirmation. Since then, I have called multiple times, dialing every number they have. Eventually, I just wanted to cancel the order. People still have not contacted me after voicemails, DMs, and texts." Another customer wrote, "I ordered earrings a couple weeks before Christmas in 2022. Money was taken out my account, almost $500, and still haven't received my earrings. Tried calling and emailing to get a refund and no one ever answers. Or I get a runaround." Now, customer service complaints are one thing. Every business has them. But when you combine poor communication, missing orders, unaccredited business status, and a former employee saying the diamonds are not real, you have a pattern that people started paying attention to. Johnny Dang himself has addressed these kinds of accusations. In a podcast interview, he talked about how trust is the foundation of his business. To run a success business, trust is very important. The most important, Dang stated. He has also spoken about how he treats customers well and relies on word of mouth and repeat business. But the accusations did not stop, and the people making them got louder. If the fake diamond claims put a dent in Johnny Dang's armor, the Diamond Boys coin saga blew a hole right through it. In 2021, Johnny hopped on the cryptocurrency train with the Vietnamese YouTuber Koa Pug. Their mutually held cryptocurrency, Diamond Boys Coin, DBZ, at the time, Bitcoin was surging, and everyone with a following was launching a token. Johnny Dang was no exception. The pitch was straightforward. Diamond Boys Coin would be tied to Johnny Dang's brand. Holders could supposedly use DBZ tokens to buy jewelry from Johnny Dang & Co. Johnny also promised that he would be working on the release of non-fungible tokens, NFTs. The whole crypto NFT jewelry crossover was the play. Koa Pug, a Vietnamese YouTuber with millions of followers, became the public face of the promotion in the Vietnamese community. He made video after video with Johnny Dang. They traveled together. They showed off diamonds, private jets, and the lifestyle that comes with being connected to the king of bling. Koa Pug used his personal YouTube channel as a media platform for the project, making statements such as, "If I lose $10 million, I still have $30 billion to start over," aiming to build trust with the community. Koa Pug confirmed holding 10 million coins with an initial capital of approximately $100,000 and then continued to deposit more money. With Koa Pug promoting it to his audience, the coin surged. The coin reached a peak of around 0.15 at the end of September 2021, but plummeted rapidly just a week later. Then everything fell apart. The currency's value began steadily dropping from the beginning of October, reaching a record low of 0.0176 at the end of November. That is a drop of over 88% in 2 months. People who bought in at the top watched their investment evaporate, and that is when Koa Pug went public. In 2021, he appeared in YouTube videos addressing a public fallout with Vietnamese influencer Koa Pug over a failed collaboration involving cryptocurrency investments, where Pug accused Dang of scamming over 30 billion VND, approximately $1.3 million USD. Koa Pug said he had been used, that Johnny Dang leveraged his influence to pump the coin to the Vietnamese community, then demanded Koa Pug return 10 million DBZ tokens that had by then surged in value. Koa Pug said he was threatened by Johnny Dang after disagreeing in a case related to Diamond Boys coin investment. At the same time, the vlogger also revealed a shocking detail, claiming that the largest celebrity jeweler threatened life safety The situation escalated to the point where Koa Pug claimed he had to leave his home. He said he was threatened. He said he feared for his life. He made videos saying he and a friend had relocated to Alaska to avoid being tracked down. When the cryptocurrency plummeted, Johnny Dang stopped mentioning it on his personal platforms. Koa Pug also quietly deleted many videos related to the project's founder. The videos they had made together vanished. Johnny Dang's side of the story was different. He put out his own videos, saying Koa Pug had been the one to sell large amounts of the token, tanking the price. He pointed to blockchain data showing Koa Pug's wallet address had dumped millions of DBZ tokens. Conversely, Johnny Dang posted a video claiming that Koa Pug did not fulfill the agreement between the two parties. Currently, the cryptocurrency has been delisted, and the project is no longer being developed as initially promised. The Diamond Boys coin official website went offline. The Telegram group stopped posting updates. The coin that was supposed to merge the worlds of hip-hop jewelry and crypto became a cautionary tale. There's been no news on that end, so we can safely assume that the king of bling is sticking to what he knows best, jewelry. But the damage to his reputation was done. At least in the Vietnamese community, the name Johnny Dang was no longer synonymous with success. It was synonymous with a crypto controversy that cost people real money. Now let us talk about the destroying part of this story, because when you hear rappers destroy Johnny Dang's store, the implication is that rappers angry about being scammed went in and wrecked the place. The reality is more complicated than that. It was in Johnny Dang and Company in the Galleria, where its popular owner and his workers were terrorized by a group of robbers Thursday night. The Galleria shoppers familiar with the jeweler say they're shocked. He's real popular. The robbery at Johnny Dang's Galleria location was a masked gunman-style heist. Police say these items are what the thieves were after Thursday night. Because of that robbery, the jewelry store did not open its Galleria location on Friday, but the owner did tell us fortunately he and his workers are okay. Johnny Dang was able to give Houston police surveillance video of that robbery. Meanwhile, security was extra tight Friday at Dang's second location in Sharpstown. This was not a one-time thing. Johnny Dang's stores have been repeated targets. An off-duty police officer once had to intervene at a nearby location. As he did his rounds near the jewelry dog store, he heard commotion and saw two men with bandanas over their faces walking toward the business. As one robber smashed glass displays with a hammer, the officer pulled his gun and ran toward the robbers. Before he got there, the second masked man pulled a pistol and shot first. The two exchanged fire as witnesses ducked and took cover. Dominique Vorish, 31, and Juan Nevels, 27, were charged with criminal conspiracy with intent to commit aggravated robbery after police say they scouted their victim at Johnny Dang & Co. They allegedly followed a green Lamborghini out of the parking lot, but were arrested before they could rob anyone. On Saturday, a man was followed home to Alvin from Johnny Dang & Co. and robbed at gunpoint. Johnny Dang's store was not just a target for robbery, it was a target for surveillance by criminals who would follow customers out and rob them later. Johnny Dang told a $5 million robbery story that he said he had never shared publicly before. The details of that story remain behind a paywall, but the fact that there is a $5 million figure associated with a single robbery at his business tells you the scale of what was being stolen. Now, were these robberies connected to rappers being angry about scam allegations? Based on the available reporting, no. These were armed robberies by criminals targeting a jewelry store known to hold millions of dollars worth of product. Houston police investigated them as property crimes, not acts of revenge. But the narrative that circulated on social media blurred those lines. When people saw footage of Johnny Dang's store being hit, and then saw the allegations about fake diamonds and the crypto scandal, the two stories merged in the public imagination. The idea that rappers who had been ripped off were coming back to take what was theirs made for a compelling story, even if the facts did not support that specific conclusion. Johnny Dang has spoken about the toll these robberies have taken on his business. He increased security at all locations. He changed how merchandise was displayed. He invested in surveillance systems. Johnny shares real stories about employee theft and the difficulty in finding trustworthy staff, even after years of loyalty. Between the external robberies and internal theft, the threats to his business were coming from every direction. Bank intervention helped uncover an employee stealing over $100,000 via unauthorized transfers. So you had employees stealing from the inside, robbers hitting from the outside, and customers on the internet accusing Johnny Dang of stealing from them through inflated prices and questionable diamond quality. The picture that emerged was of a man who had built a kingdom on trust, watching that trust erode from every angle. So where does all of this leave Johnny Dang? Let's lay out what we know. There are former employees who have said the diamonds sold to rappers were not always what was promised. There are customer complaints documented with the Better Business Bureau about missing orders and poor communication. There is a cryptocurrency called Diamond Boys Coin that was promoted to hundreds of thousands of people and resulted in a very public falling out with accusations of a $1.3 million scam. There have been multiple armed robberies at his stores. There have been cases of employees stealing from within the company. And then there is the other side. He starred in the 2020 Vice TV docuseries House of Dang, which explores his journey from immigrant jeweler to hip-hop icon. His client list includes names like Travis Scott, DaBaby, Quavo, and Floyd Mayweather. He was the subject of the 2023 song Johnny Dang by that Mexican OT, Paul Wall, and Drody. Artists are still walking into his store. Artists are still name-dropping him in records. If he had truly scammed the entire rap industry out of millions, would those same rappers still be making songs about him and buying his product? The answer to that question is complicated. In hip-hop, relationships are transactional. A jeweler who makes the best grills in Houston is going to keep getting business regardless of rumors, as long as the product keeps showing up, and Johnny Dang's product keeps showing up. His social media presence remains massive. He posts custom pieces for high-profile clients weekly. He does pop-up events in Miami, New York, and other cities where rappers and athletes line up to get molded. In a recent interview, Dang stated, "I've been doing natural diamonds for over 25 years. Most of my customers are rappers, actresses, big ballers. In their eyes, lab diamonds are fake." He is still positioning himself as the authority on real diamonds in a market that is shifting toward lab-grown alternatives. He says many of his customers prefer natural diamonds, but he does get lab-grown for those who request it. In 2025, Dang continued his media engagements with interviews focusing on his expanding business empire. He is not shrinking. He is not retreating. In 2025, Daniel's profile rose notably in Houston media, highlighted in a Houstonia magazine feature as the OG Dang brother who built the family empire from humble beginnings. The family is still expanding the brand. Second-generation family members, including Johnny's children, have begun appearing in shop settings as of 2025. Their formal entry into the trade remains in early stages, focusing on learning the craft under familial guidance. This structure underscores the Dang family's commitment to perpetuating their jewelry legacy through hands-on involvement across generations. Now, about the title of this video, rappers destroyed Johnny Dang's store after discovering he scammed them for millions. You have now seen the full scope of the story. The robberies at Johnny Dang's store were real. The scam allegations are real, at least in the sense that real people made real accusations. From former employees to business partners like Koa Pug, the millions are real. The Diamond Boys coin saga alone involved over $1 million in disputed funds. But the connecting thread implied by the title, that rappers discovered a scam and went to destroy his store in retaliation, does not line up with the documented facts. The robberies were committed by armed criminals targeting a jewelry store, not rappers seeking justice. The scam allegations have come mainly from the crypto side of Johnny Dang's ventures and from individual consumer complaints, not from the rappers whose names are most associated with his brand. What is true is that Johnny Dang's story is not the clean immigrant success narrative it once appeared to be. It is a story of a man who came from nothing, built something that touched every corner of hip-hop, and then found himself entangled in the very dynamics that made him rich: money, trust, ego, and the gap between what is real and what is sold as real. You scam someone, the whole world knows the next step, as one interviewer told Dang. And Dang himself has said he would rather just do his thing, keep doing the job, and treat the customer well. Whether he has always lived up to that statement is the question that his customers, his former partners, and the internet will continue debating. What cannot be debated is that Johnny Dang changed the jewelry game. From a flea market in Houston making $100 a month to a multi-million-dollar empire with a Guinness World Record, a Vice TV show, and his name in dozens of rap songs. That happened. The question is, what happened along the way? What shortcuts were taken? And who paid the price? The rappers are still buying. The store is still open. The allegations are still out there. And in the world of hip-hop jewelry, the line between authenticity and performance has never been thinner. That's the story. Make of it what you will.